Hmm. So the times are such that I'm rarely disappointed by a Malayalam film these days because of the high standards that they have set. But this has to be one of that instance wherein I wasn't fully happy with the end product. Hi guys, this is Farhad and welcome back to my channel Popcorn Reviews. If you're new to this channel, then please smash that subscribe button now. And as a video ritual, remember to like and comment on the video. Liking a video and commenting on the video helps fuel the YouTube algorithm. And today the Malayalam film that we are going to be talking about is the 2024 film called Footage, which is starring Vishak Nair, Gayathri Ashok and Manju Warrior, and directed by Saiju Sridharan. Now, one of the reasons why I was looking forward to this film was because it was a found footage film. It was a film in the found footage genre, you can say. And with the found footage film genre that is there, the one that immediately comes to your mind is the Blair Witch Project, which is the 1999 English film. Now, one of the reasons why the film, immediately works, the Blair Witch Project is what I'm talking about, is because of the frames, the visuals. There is this grainy presence that has a very unsettling effect on the viewer, which creates an ambience of horror. However, in Footage, this is exactly what doesn't click as the first mode of failure, you can say. First mode of things that completely disconnect you with the drama, because it is a found footage kind of a genre in Footage as well, is the frame here. The frame itself is very sanitized. It doesn't feel like a found footage. It's almost like a DSLR kind of a film that is being set. It's, yeah, you can say that it adds, the framing adds depth to the screen that is there, but it's not a found footage film then. If you are actually showcasing that white frame that is there, or with the help of you can say DSLR or mobile cameras that are there, I think then it doesn't become a found footage kind of a film. And I think that immediately disconnected me from what the end product was. I would like to also appreciate the kind of effort that has gone into making this film, because you don't see too many found footage films, not in India at all. I can't remember the last film, probably Ragini MMS, I don't know, but that was probably the last found footage film that I was witness to. Having said that, this immediately had a disconnect with me, but this is just one of the problems that the film had. So coming to the story and screenplay, one of the reasons why this film doesn't work is because of the stretched length of the film. This could have so easily been an 80 odd minute film, which would have been very engaging and very tight, with its writing, irrespective of whether the frames were there, not there, that's secondary, but the writing has to be there. And the found footage films, it's easy to meander with this genre rather, because it kind of after a point would get repetitive with the presentation style that is there. And that is exactly what happened in this film Footage. What happened was that there was a little bit of a setup, there was a little bit of intrigue that was there, but there was absolutely spoon feeding at the end of the day, which completely had me disconnected and a little disappointed as well. It was underwhelming, which is a rarity in as far as Malayalam films are concerned, who are known to ask you or coax the viewers to imply your minds and connect the dots. One of the reasons in the found footage genre also is to leave things a little incomplete so that you can join the dots yourself. You had it in the Blair Witch Project also. You had it in the Paranormal Activity franchise also, especially the first film of the Paranormal Activity that is there. Here there was a lot of spoon feeding that absolutely derailed the film as far as I was concerned. It had its moments, like it deals with a recurring theme of voyeurism. When I say voyeurism, it means snooping into each other's lives, in a maybe a sexual way or not. It can be either. It's applied to both of them. So it had that theme of voyeurism when you are introduced to the two characters in the film that are there. By the way, the film unfolds from a boy's gaze and a girl's gaze from the first hour to the second hour. I think this was also one of the interesting concepts that got lost in translation. It could have so easily been one film that unfolds from a boy's gaze, cut to that in the girl's gaze, but it did not really tackle that concept as far as the film or the film unfolding on celluloid is concerned. So once you are introduced to the characters, you do see the protagonist, the guy protagonist here, snooping into other people's houses. You see a couple, absolutely having rampant they're making love rather rampantly, and he snoops into their lives. So that, I think, was a recurring theme that forms the foundation of the film, and I think that was an interesting start. It was a very edgy kind of a start which was there. As then you are acquainted with the lives of how what they're doing for a living. They are vloggers and they make YouTube videos for their vlogs. They do not shy away from fabricating stories of horror stories by meeting locals or wherever they go, and you see intimate moments between the two as well. But the voyeurism angle that is there, that is what eventually leads them to trouble when they actually go on to track a mysterious woman, and that is when the cards change. So before the interval, there is an entire sequence that is very well orchestrated. You see the two protagonists, the guy and the girl, following that mysterious woman until the tables turn, and I think that was a lot of intrigue with the way it was shot. The ambience that was created, irrespective of the sanitized frames, mind you. That was just the first line of disconnect that was there, but it could still have been better with those frames as well. Make no mistake. So when the entire film, sequence unfolds, you are, intrigued as to what really happened, in the first hour. Who is that woman? All of that you would just want to know. But this is where, the film also slips. Why does it slip? Because it spoon feeds you into a lot of details. And when I say lot of details, there are details about the personal lives of the two characters which are, explored in the first hour. Same thing happens in the second hour as well. There's a lot of repetition, lot of, details provided or overstuffed details that are provided to the user, that eventually you just feel that it's not going anywhere. What if these details were not provided? Would things have changed? Would things have been different? The answer was no, it would not have been different. And I think that is what the issue of the film is, because there are large portions that just feel totally unnecessary. I mean, even the portions with the little flashback, or not the flashback, but you get a little backstory about the mysterious woman that is there, that is lost in translation because of the extra details that are provided along the way. Which is not to say that it's completely bad, but there's a lot of lag in the film, and I think that is the main issue for me, the lag, because it did not allow me to connect with the characters. On the contrary, it made me away from the characters, made me disconnected from the characters, and I think that was not the ideal way to go ahead. The climax, also has a little bit of a thrill here and there, but the payoff isn't there, and I think that for me, was a miss. It remained an experimental film, make no mistake about it. I applaud the efforts as well. It's none other than the Malayalam film industry that is actually putting this effort, of trying new things. But it doesn't always have to be successful, and it's not in this case. And I cannot lie just saying that, you cannot just applaud the effort here. So the screenplay just remains a little bit of a miss for me, more a miss than a hit. Coming to the technical aspects, the dialogues, the music, and the screenplay, I think and the direction rather, not the screenplay. The dialogues here are a little corny, and they just don't sit in the world which is there. I would ideally have relied a lot on framing, which is actually nice here. The cinematography, if I have to look beyond the fact that the frames are sanitized, then the framing is pretty impressive here, but you needed more of the framing and less of the chatter, and I think that was again another miss for me in my books. I did feel also that the dialogues, besides being corny, are unintentionally funny also. In a scene when if a character calls another character baby, when fear is absolutely lurking in the corner, I mean, it's kind of hilarious. There's nothing wrong in that, but it just takes you away from the fear element in the film, which is pretty much intended to have a psychological impact, and I think that is not ideal for me. The BGM is pretty good as well. At least it tries, to create that ambience of atmosphere, of thrill and horror. The editing has moments of brilliance, I must say. The sharp cuts going from one sequence to another is pretty impressive, but the fundamental mistake in the editing here is that it did not account for the lags in the screenplay. I think that's a criminal thing. It's not criminal literally, but it's in the cinematic sense it is criminal, because you have the tendency of allowing the drama to meander along, and it doesn't then create a very crisp sense, particularly in this genre when you need that grip, you need that taut kind of a narrative which would hold the users, hold the viewers with their attention span, because it after a point gets repetitive with the the style that you're trying to cater to, and that is the issue here. Director Saiju Sridharan makes a impressive debut, I must say, because some parts of the direction are really impressive. The entire sequence in the pre-interval sequence, pre-halfway mark, which is there, he actually creates an ambience and makes for a good watch, but the grip in the narrative isn't there, and he just overstuffs you with a lot of details which absolutely have no real significance in the overall runtime of the film, and I think that is one of the reasons why the film doesn't work. The direction in my books is also a miss, but there are flashes of brilliance, so don't write this director off completely. There are flashes of brilliance, and I'm sure he will shine in his next venture, because I think he knows what he's doing. By the way, he's edited it himself, so it just goes hand in hand. Maybe you didn't want to edit it, maybe you didn't want to edit your little baby which was there, but at times you need to have a third person looking at it from a neutral gaze and saying that, oh, there is a lot of lag in the film, so you need to edit it at the end of the day. Coming to the performances, I think the performances are decent here, although none of the characters really have a character arc to deal with. So Gayathri Ashok has a good screen presence, does a decent job. I think I watched the Hindi dubbed version which was released here. The Malayalam version did not release here last year. It was only the Hindi dub that came out this week, so I happened to watch it. So I do not know about the accent. I was reading some of the comments saying how her accent is a little off in the Malayalam version. I do not know that. Let me know in the comments. But per se, she has a persona on screen, and I think she did a pretty decent job as well. Likewise for Vishak Nair also. I think Vishak Nair is that one actor that you need to keep your eye on. I think he's a terrific actor. He was recently in Officer on Duty. He was also in the Hindi film Emergency. I think he played the role of Sanjay Gandhi, if I'm not wrong. I think he's a fabulous actor, and you need to keep an eye on him. He's a serious talent to deal with, and I think he did a pretty good job here, although the writing here remains one tone for his character. There's no layers to the character at all. Manju Warrior is intimidating in her 10-minute appearance. I think she was terrific here, especially when she breaks the fourth wall and looks at the camera. I think that was a chilling look, and I think she did a pretty splendid job there. But the writing did not support the performances that were there, so it remained decent at the end of the day. So footage for me remained an experimental found footage kind of a drama with themes of voyeurism, but it doesn't land the way it should, and that is, I think, my verdict. I was quite underwhelmed at the end of the day. As I said, I can give a little free hand to the Malayalam film industry, for the brilliance that they are trying to attempt. So the full marks for the effort here. Make no mistake, the effort here is wonderful. It's full marks, but not for the film, not for the writing. I mean, it's still underwhelming at the end of the day. It's still very average, if I have to look at it from an end product point of view, even if I have to compare with some of the other films from this genre. It's a little bit of a miss for me. So that was it, guys. Then footage, underwhelming, that was my verdict. If you watched the film, let me know your thoughts on what did you make of the film, or what was your theater going experience. Remember to like the video as well. It fuels the YouTube algorithm. Even commenting helps fuel the YouTube algorithm. If you're new, remember, subscribe to the channel. What more you can do is you can share this video with your friends and family. Ask them to subscribe to the channel. Let's grow this Digi family together. You can read my detailed review of footage on my site, Popcorn Reviews with a double S, the link of which is in the description box below, and you can also read it in your language. Remember that. You can also follow me on different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd. I do not end up making a video on everything that I watch, but I do write a lot. All information is present on my site and on my social media handles, so leave a follow there as well. I'll see you again soon with another video. It's a little bit of a lull period and we all are waiting for Emperor E2, you can say, Mohanlal's Emperor E2. That's the big release. That's at the end of the month. I'll try to fill in a few days with videos that I can. It's a little bit of a lull period, as I said, but hang in there. We are getting there again with the momentum. I'll see you again soon with another video. Till then, take care of yourselves and thank you so much for your love and support. Cheers.